I advise Beyonce to divorce Jay-Z as soon as possible because I'm ready to shoot a documentary about Jay-Z, and I guarantee it will outgross Diddy's documentary. If Beyonce sends me a legal letter on behalf of Jay-Z, I remind her to stay quiet. This is a dispute between men, and she has no right to interfere. I have to let everyone see the true face of Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Diddy have been longtime friends, and their business dealings never stopped. He frequently attends Diddy's parties, so why do people think he's innocent? Jay-Z and Diddy got involved in the same case in 2024, where a victim claimed she was assaulted by both Jay-Z and Diddy. I remember Jay-Z saying these were all rumors and that he was defending Diddy. But ironically, Diddy got arrested in 2025, and there's enough evidence to count his crimes on one hand. I've known them for 20 years, and I know how many bad things they've done behind the scenes. After Jay-Z founded his company, he repeatedly got into copyright disputes. In 1999, he was convicted of third-degree assault and served time in prison. He was unfaithful to Beyonce, and he was caught by Beyonce's sister. I think everyone has seen the footage of him getting beaten up in the elevator. I've already gathered the evidence, and I'm going to give Jay-Z a surprise.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, black excellence, right?
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be.
For decades, the most powerful figures in hip-hop weren't protected by innocence, they were protected by understanding. A new documentary from 50 Cent pulls back the curtain on how that unspoken agreement held firm for years around major industry giants like Sean Combs, Jay-Z and Beyonce. For a long time, controversies were treated as isolated incidents brushed off as one-offs instead of patterns. This film challenges that narrative head-on IT reframes those moments as pieces of a much bigger machine, one where access, loyalty and silence carried real weight and real consequences. Rather than locking in on celebrity names alone, the documentary shifts the lens to the system operating quietly behind the scenes. IT forces uncomfortable questions into the open. Who benefits when stories stall? Who pays the price when doubts are never resolved? And why do some narratives never rise above whispers? When similar situations repeat across different eras and artists, the film pushes viewers to ask, when does coincidence stop being random and start looking deliberate?
And laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was rambunctious, just out with it. It don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quieter with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah. He was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It definitely was some snake shit.
Well, Meek Mill is also someone who has been tied into this whole.
Anna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was the innocent baby when she came over here. And look
She
at
was
her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def.
Power in entertainment rarely exists on its OWN. It multiplies through proximity. The documentary breaks down how careers often accelerate when individuals remain close to money, influence, and decision-makers, and how momentum can disappear the moment that closeness fades and this world access itself becomes currency. From that angle, connections tied to figures like Diddy and Jay-Z aren't framed as proof of wrongdoing but as context. They reveal who stayed close, who stepped back, and who chose silence. When access turns into leverage, the film raises a sharp question. Who controls the doors and who decides who's left standing outside?
And those men sit up there and seen her being abused by him, and they did what everybody else did for years in the industry. They kept it quiet and kept doing business with it.
Do you think a lot of people know what Puff was doing and kind of just turned a blind eye?
Yeah. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. He had got so... You're listening. Everybody in the world knew he took a cowbell and tried to beat the coach up with it. Nobody did nothing. They heard stories for years about him slapping, beating Kim and all other women that he was with. I'm surprised more haven't came out with it. They don't probably want the attention or whatever. But there's more women out there can say that he probably put their hands on them.
With Usher, Neo, and Jimmy Iovine being exposed as somebody who might have potentially seen this type of behavior, you know, do you think that they will try to call them on the stand, or, you know, like, do you think they should be held accountable for some of that too?
Well, I think that when you have situations like that and you're in a room with somebody, you can't make them see anything when they come to the stand, because all they could say is that I didn't see it. I was there. I wasn't looking in that direction. I don't know what really happened. All I know is Cassie was holding her stomach, bent over, throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll say anything. Their lawyers will tell them what to say. They have people to teach them what to say in circumstances and situations like that. So Dawn, yes, she saw it. She saw that they were there, and they should have seen it too. She would have to describe when that happened. What did Usher do? What did Neo do? What did they say?
Silence in public isn't always about caution, sometimes it's strategy. The documentary examines moments when high-profile figures avoided interviews, withheld statements, or let legal processes speak for them. Those choices shape public memory even when no new facts are introduced. In today's non-stop media cycle, saying nothing can slow momentum and redirect attention elsewhere. In these cases, silence isn't empty, it's a tool. And when the loudest response is no response at all, the film asks a critical question. What exactly is being protected by staying quiet?
When I first heard the conversation, when I first heard the allegations, I said to myself, that's 2000. That's when I was there. And so I got to read what was said and how it went down and everything like that. And then first of all, I start seeing some inconsistency, but I don't want to, criticize the victim or the person that said that they was a victim. But some of the statements and some of the things that I heard was incorrect. As far as I know what we did at that time. First of all, we did not use limousines. We used SUVs in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So when she said that it was a limousine that picked her up, or she went with a limousine driver, you know, I was kind of skeptical and wanted to hear more about her story. So now she said that the limousine driver, you know, got her into a party, but it's somehow she had to went to a gas station. And if you know that area, there's no gas stations unless you walk all the way up to 96th Street. That's like 40 something blocks. So I was like, all you had to walk to the west side, which is another 14, 15 long blocks. And then you would have to know where you're going to find that gas station because it's close to the West Side Highway. Unless you went all the way downtown, and then who gonna pick her up from that far away from the you know, the venue where she went to. So, and then she said something about that, or well, the allegation said something about that she went with the limo driver. So did the limo driver drop Puff them off or Jay them off, then came back and got her, then take her to the party? It was just a lot of inconsistencies. I was like, yo, first of all, we didn't even use limousines. You understand? Bad Boy used SUVs. So I found those being real inconsistent on what the story which she was talking about. And then for limousine driver, who would know us, because our drivers didn't drive limousines, how you gonna tell somebody to get in the party? He had to go through security for that. And that just...
Everything shifts the moment allegations move from rumor into record. Once claims appear in official filings, sworn statements, or recorded testimony, the conversation changes. What once lived in private conversations is suddenly anchored to documentation, forcing the issue into a space that can be examined, challenged, and verified.
He's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D-Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D-Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D-Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
This documentary doesn't pretend to hand down final verdicts. Instead, it tracks the transition from speculation to process. Records surface timelines sharpen and contradictions narrow. With each new piece of information, viewers are invited to reassess what holds up under scrutiny and what starts to unravel when the light gets brighter.
Much promise become an icon as far as in the music business and stuff that he did to turn around and just tear his whole life down. But it's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't, he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without. And you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You got to have principles. You got to have morals. You got to keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You got to know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he using drugs. He was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bruh. Then he started doing things to people, you understand, that he learned. That's a learned behavior, bruh. Now, I'm not saying that he may have been doing a couple of things here and there with women, stuff like that in New York, but the things that they're talking about that he was doing, bringing in prostitutes to have sex with his girl and all that stuff like that, that was some crazy stuff to me, man. So I'm just looking at this whole thing, man, and you had asked me, and we don't have these conversations.
A legacy isn't erased by a single accusation. It's defined by how power responds when questions emerge. The film evaluates well-known figures across the full arc of their careers, their creative impact, cultural influence, and public contributions. Then it digs deeper. When pressure hits, does legacy invite transparency, or does it depend on insulation and distance? Does reputation encourage accountability, or does it retreat behind walls?
Everything, his lawyers wrote that shit up, and now he presenting to the people like he wrote it. Everybody know that if he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, I know that's your man, Mighty. But you know there's a lot of bars and a lot of rhymes he done stole from people. If he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, he ain't writing no letter like that for nobody and to nobody.
I mean, Jay was paying homage, man, showing respect.
Oh, okay. He was showing respect?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Tupac and Biggie showed the same respect too, right? Huh? Oh, you ain't got nothing to say about that. All right, okay. I guess Big L was showing respect too, right? I guess Cam them show respect too, huh? It's a lot of rappers, man. I guess Mace was showing respect too. It's a lot of rappers, man. They don't steal. Yo, Mighty, I'm finna blow you out the water. This nigga stole the whole song. I got 99 problems, and now he finding out a bitch is one. Come on now. He stole a whole song from Ice-T. didn't give him the props on it. I know you're going to cut this part out, but it's the truth. Let's get back to the letter. Now, he called the lawyer ambulance chase and all that stuff like that. I think Tony Busby probably got a lawsuit against him now. You understand? Defamation of character, the whole 9 yards. So Jay gonna have to say, I didn't write that. My lawyer wrote that. But he came out like saying that he wrote it, like he was doing that. So he got him a defamation claim, defamation. I think Tony Busby got a defamation lawsuit against him right now. Against his character, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. So as far as that letter is concerned, man, Tony Busby sent him a demand letter, award letter. All lawyers do that. He didn't go out the scope of what the information he had from representing his client. Now Jay-Z is sitting back, you know what I'm saying, going at him personally. Now, all this back and forth and this media stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, you usually don't find that lawyers going at each other in the media. They be doing that shit in the courtroom, but it makes for entertainment. And I guess we're being entertained by this bullcrap.
Media coverage doesn't just report outcomes, it shapes them. By analyzing headlines, omissions, and framing across outlets, the documentary shows how attention can elevate certain narratives while quietly burying others. Editorial choices matter. What leads the news, what's emphasized, and what never reaches the audience all leave a mark. When coverage becomes uneven, the film asks a sharp question. Who controls the spotlight and who absorbs the damage when parts of the story are left out?
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that. And all of a sudden, when this has gotten real big and Tony Busby had taken the kid's case, the kid just got arrested for having a gun in his car, I think, like that. Did you hear something about that? That the kid got arrested for having a gun in his car, and when they go and watch the tape, somebody was planting a gun in the kid's car. Now the kid who never been in trouble to that degree, and now he's facing a case for a gun case for having a loaded firearm in his car. So, answer your question. There's plenty of stories. Ain't Beyonce one of those stories? Isn't Foxy Brown one of those stories? Isn't that kid mother one of his stories? There's a lot of stories, bro. So that's what I say about it.
Speaking up can invite backlash. Staying silent can erase you entirely. The documentary examines moments shaped by legal, social, and financial pressure without judging accuracy, but by focusing on the environment that limits what people feel safe saying. Fear doesn't need proof to be effective. It only needs to feel real. In a system where the risks of speaking and staying quiet aren't equal, the film asks a vital question. How free is anyone really to speak?
Anybody can come on this internet and say anything, right? And dude is getting a whole lot of attention because people are even calling me, asking me about him, you know, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know what I know. I don't know what he knows, but I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy. Me, Wolf, and Paul Offer. If he didn't come through Paul offered security, Green Gate security, he didn't have a contract with Puff. Because anybody who worked for Puff, other than me and Wolf, came through Green Gate security. That was Paul's security thing, especially at the time that he was saying that he worked for Puff, or Puff offered him $30,000. Now, anybody knows this, that Bad Boy took 50% of all this artist publishing, right? 50% of all the artist publishing straight out the rip. Then Puff gave Big $200,000 for the rest of his publishing. So what publishing did he was trying to get and keep from Puff? You understand? What publishing was Puff was trying to get when he already had it? He had already paid for it. What part of the catalog was he talking about? I don't understand that. And then he said that Puff offered him $30,000. I can't say he lied, but I can say that he wasn't a part of Bad Boy security that I know. I knew everybody who worked during them days. You understand? And I don't know dude from a can of paint.
So whoever this Uncle Ron dude is, he's a liar then. He's a fraud.
Is he a fraud? Bruh, he's what he is. He wasn't part of our security that I knew of. Not at that time.
The documentary closes without delivering a final ruling. Instead, it returns to fundamentals. Accountability isn't about assuming guilt, it's about respecting process and allowing facts to stand on their own.
I'm going to tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that hell. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops. And disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
All right, well, let's do it like
who was
this.
Actually carrying his baby while you was faking it.
Yeah.
Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
And half of which dumbass bitch.
You know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drunk. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. Snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started f***ing all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know.
Okay,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
As institutions investigate and courts weigh evidence, the public carries responsibility too. Viewers are urged to resist snap judgments, separate rumor from verified information, and seek truth without adding harm. When power operates behind closed doors, the final question lingers. What level of accountability is owed to the people affected by it?